Ever get that feeling? You know, the one where the goalposts for just a normal life seem to be moving further and further away? Well, we're going to dig into a really powerful and honestly, kind of unsettling idea that the whole concept of a stable, average life, it isn't just changing, it's vanishing.
I mean, think about it for a second. There really was a time, and it wasn't even that long ago, where having an average job, an average income, an average house, that felt safe. It felt secure. It was a perfectly respectable goal to shoot for, you know? It was enough. But somewhere along the line, something fundamental just broke.
Because what we have today is a world where that comfortable middle ground has been completely hollowed out. It really feels like you're on one of two teams. Either you're just barely surviving, trying to keep your head above water, or you're on the other side, just constantly, relentlessly scaling. The two extremes are just pulling further and further apart.
So how did we even get here? This isn't just a vague feeling people have. It's the direct result of some very real, very powerful economic shifts that have been quietly reshaping everything for decades. Let's break down how this gap got so wide.
Okay, this chart right here, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Just look at that bar for the cost of living. We're talking about the big stuff, right? Housing, education, healthcare. The costs are just skyrocketing, relentlessly. Now, look over at the bar for income growth. See that gap? It's not even a contest. That massive chasm opening up between what we earn and what things actually cost, well, that's the squeeze. That's the fundamental pressure everyone is feeling. All right, so on top of that big economic reality, there are two major pressures squeezing what's left of the middle. The first one is, well, it's internal. It's a behavioral trap that so many of us fall into. It's the treadmill of lifestyle inflation.
And this is a cycle I think we all know way too well. Step one, you get that raise you've been working for. Awesome. But then, what's step two? The immediate thought is to upgrade the lifestyle. Maybe a nicer car, a bigger apartment, more expensive vacations. Which leads right to step three. Your spending just climbs right up to meet that new income. And the final step? Your future is no more stable than it was before. Yeah, you're making more money, but you're just running faster on the exact same treadmill. So here's the absolute crucial point, the thing we have to get. We upgrade our life before we stabilize our future. That instant reward of a better lifestyle today so often comes at the direct expense of our long-term security. That extra cash, instead of building a real safety net, just gets swallowed up by higher monthly bills, leaving us just as vulnerable as we were before the raise.
Now let's talk about the second major pressure, and this one's an external force. It's the huge shift in what a job or a career even is anymore. All those old guarantees, they're basically gone.
And this isn't just happening in one industry or one country, this is everywhere. The whole idea of a stable 40-year career with one company, it's becoming a thing of the past, like a museum piece. The new reality is what you see here. It's a patchwork of contract work, the gig economy, and always having that low-level anxiety in the back of your mind about layoffs or your job being automated. That solid bedrock of job security, it's completely fractured.
So what happens when you combine that internal pressure of the lifestyle treadmill with the external reality of job instability? You get the world we're all living in today, a world that is splitting into two very, very different ways of existing.
So on one side, you have millions of people in pure survival mode. All their mental energy is taken up by the absolute basics. How am I going to make rent? How am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to put food on the table? And on the other side, you have the people in optimization mode. Their focus is all about metrics, growth, and constantly scaling their income and their influence.
And that quiet, peaceful middle life, the one that wasn't about just surviving, but it also wasn't about relentlessly scaling, the one that was just about living, comfortably and securely, yeah, that space is shrinking every single day, just getting squeezed out from both sides.
And it is so important to understand that this is not happening by accident. This isn't some random thing. The middle is being actively taken apart by two very distinct, very powerful forces.
It is literally being crushed. From one side, you've got this relentless external force of economic inflation just eating away at every dollar you make. And from the other side, you have this intense, almost frantic pressure of ambition. And let's be super clear about this. This isn't just about greed. In a world that feels this unstable, that drive to scale and optimize everything, it's not a luxury. It's a survival strategy. It's ambition that's actually born from fear. And that quiet middle,
It just can't hold up under that kind of pressure from both directions. No way. So this new reality, it really demands a new way of thinking. It forces us to just totally reconsider what our goals should be, and frankly, what questions we should even be asking ourselves to get through this thing.
So the first instinct for a lot of people is to lean into that pressure cooker of ambition and just ask, okay, fine, how do I get rich and how do I do it fast? But you know what? That's the wrong question. It's a total trap. It makes you focus on trying to win a game where the rules are fundamentally broken, instead of asking if you should even be playing that game at all.
The real question, the one that's way harder but so much more important, is this one. In a world where that stable middle ground is just gone, how do you protect yourself? How do you build a life that's actually resilient against these massive, crushing forces? You know, maybe the goal isn't to get rich after all. Maybe the real goal is to become unbreakable. And that is a thought worth spending some time on.